For the past year and a half, I've trained my arms like a maniac. I always had weak arms and I made a promise to myself. I was going to make a massive transformation. Now after all of that work, I'm proud of myself, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how I did it and how you can do the same. When I first started to work out, I ran push-pull legs, and in the beginning everything was fine. I was building muscle, getting stronger, seeing results. But after a year, I noticed something that really bugged me. My arms were underdeveloped and I couldn't figure it out. I was doing the exercises all the big influencers recommended. So how on earth were my arms still lagging? So one day I made a promise to myself. I'm going to make my arms huge no matter what it takes. If I want to have an aesthetic physique, I need to have big arms too. After all, when you wear a t-shirt or a hoodie, it's your arms that are sticking out. So I changed my perspective. I started to focus on arm growth instead of just growing my chest and back. And looking back now, the shift made all the difference. I've made huge progress on my arms, and to prove to you that I'm not talking BS, look at the old footage of me talking about my arms. Look at the left, my bicep is almost non-existent. My arms were smaller, or they weren't in proportion to the rest of my body. My arms were underdeveloped. So that's how everything started to turn around for me. It wasn't luck or some secret I had. Anyone can make these changes and make a huge transformation on their arms. Let me show you how. If you want bigger arms, stop leaving them for last. The most common workout split is the push-pull leg, but the downside with this split is that you hit your arms at the end of your session, and we know that the later you hit a muscle group, the more fatigue has built, the more your nervous system has been fried, so you won't be able to maximize growth when you hit a muscle group at the end of the session. So how do you fix this? Well, prioritize your arms. Start your session with hitting biceps or triceps. Now, if you follow the push-pull leg, this will be a bit hard, so you will need to change your workout split so you can have a dedicated arm day. When you hit arms in the beginning of your session, you will be able to increase motor unit recruitment. In other words, your strength will go up, your focus will go up, your intensity will go up. So in other words, you will grow more efficiently. So now let's go through some workout split that allows you to prioritize your arm. The first example, and this is my favorite, it's the Arnold split, because here you're able to have an arms and shoulders day. If your shoulders is one of your strongest points and you tell yourself, I'm fine, I don't need to grow them more, I can put all the focus on my arms, this is a perfect workout split for you. Now, if your shoulders are weak, then I would not recommend this for you. Now, if you want to take this even further, you want to really make a huge transformation on your arms, the next workout split is the upper lower with an extra arm day. With this workout split, you will be able to really push your arms to its limit. But you have to keep in mind, on your upper days, you will need to decrease the volume on your chest, back and shoulders, because you're hitting all of these three muscle groups in the same day. Both of these workout splits are a bit extreme, but if you tell me I want to grow my arms but I don't want to take it to that level, then I have another workout split for you. It is push-pull leg with a twist. On push days, you will hit chest, shoulders and biceps. On pull days, you will hit back and triceps. Now keep in mind, with this workout split, you will have some fatigue when you hit your arms, but it's still better than push-pull legs when it comes to maximizing arm growth. Maybe you have realized that I haven't mentioned the bro split. The problem with this split is that the frequency is too low. You need to have a workout split where you're able to hit the same muscle group every few days. With the bro split, you don't get that, so I would almost never recommend for anyone to do the bro split. So the bottom line is, if you want your arms to grow, you need to hit it when it's fresh and with high enough frequency. So now let's talk about some exercises that will help you grow. Let's begin with the biceps. I will recommend exercises that you already know about: the dumbbell curl, the straight bar curl, easy bar curl, Bayesian curl, incline curl. All of these work, they're great exercises, but you don't want to do straight bar curl and the dumbbell curl in the same session because their movement is identical. The same thing with incline curl and Bayesian curl, your elbow is behind your back, most of the resistance is at the stretch, so you want to be careful with this. And for the rep range, I would recommend anywhere from 8 to 12. You can go lower than 8, but you have to be careful to not mess up your form and technique. You only need 2 exercises when it comes to training your bicep. One exercise where all the resistance is at the top, another exercise where all the resistance is at the stretch. That's it. So now let's talk about the triceps, and you only need 2 to 3 exercises. One where your elbow is close to your body, another one where your elbow is above your body, the third one is a close grip push. On screen I put up exercises for every variation. Now if you don't want to do 3 exercises, you want to instead do 2 exercises, that's fine. What you need is where your elbows is close to your body, for example triceps push down, and then you need a close grip push like the JM press. So those 2 exercises is all you need if you want to only do 2 exercises for your triceps. And then you have your forearms. Now majority of the people don't need to prioritize their forearms so much. All you need is some hammer curls with dumbbells or with a rope and you're good to go. And now let's talk about something that is more important than exercise selection and workout split. If you don't follow this principle, you won't grow. It's that simple, and that is intensity. I have worked out for years, and one thing I've seen over and over is that people stop too early. Your last reps should be slow. Your face should turn red. That's how high intensity you need to have to maximize growth. Intensity is more important than volume and frequency above everything else. You need to stimulate your muscle. One set to true failure will stimulate more growth than 3 sets of bullshit reps. When you train with intensity, you have to be careful with junk volume. You don't want to do too much, because when you truly train hard with high intensity, you will be fatigued. It's inevitable. But with that fatigue, you won't be able to stimulate the muscle that much. So basically, when you have too much fatigue and you keep working out, it won't lead to muscle growth because you aren't able to stimulate the muscle. If anything, training too much will lead to muscle damage, so it will only hurt your recovery. I would even tell you, if you're doing 3 sets per exercise but it feels too much, you're building too much fatigue, lower the amount of sets you do. That's fine. The most important thing is that you don't build too much fatigue and you're actually training hard. Frequency is more important than volume. Now if you were to follow what I've said so far for a few weeks and months, it's almost guaranteed that you will have become stronger. So now we come to the next principle, which is super important, and that is when you get stronger, you have to make it harder for yourself. You have to give your body a reason to grow, and the way you do that is by you start off by a weight. Let's say you do 8 reps for 50 pounds on triceps pushdown. In a few weeks you will be able to do 9 reps, then 10 reps, then 11, then 12. When you reach 12, you can increase the weight a little bit, so you go down to 8 reps again. Let's say you're doing 55 pounds now. That's an excellent way to always make your training harder. But when you increase the weight, you still have to be careful with your form and technique. Your execution still needs to be excellent if you want to do progressive overload the right way. Now I have explained to you how I made a huge transformation for my arms within 1.5 years. But if you want to learn how to grow the most important muscle for aesthetics, aka your shoulders, without good genetics, click on this video right here. I explain everything.